Hello everyone, this video I wanted to talk about caffeine, a little bit about what it is, how it works, some of the benefits and drawbacks, and some practical recommendations at the end. So caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant that's the most widely consumed psychoactive drug in the world. About 80% of the world's population consumes it on a daily basis, with coffee being the most commonly consumed form of caffeine. It works as an antagonist to the adenosine system by inhibiting the adenosine to bind to its receptors and in turn causing a perception of increased alertness and energy. So in this sense, it's actually more so blocking the feeling of fatigue rather than increasing physiological energy, even though it might feel that way. Blood levels of caffeine usually peak at around 60 minutes or so after you ingest it. And then caffeine has a widely variable half-life of about 2 all the way up to 10 hours. And this depends on a multitude of factors, including age, weight, and individual variations in excretion rates. Some of the benefits of ingesting caffeine include improved endurance performance and capacity when ingested at a dosage of 3 all the way up to 9 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, although some positive effects have been observed in as low as 1 to 3 milligrams per kg of body weight, with the effects really diminishing after consumption of about 5 milligrams per kg or so. Exercise at 85% of VO2 max has seen improvements of 10 to 20% in similar dosages, and maximal exercise at 100% of VO2 max has also seen improvements when consuming caffeine for events that last up to about 5 minutes, such as a 1,500-meter run. Team sports can also see benefits as far as cognitive and motor skill performance with dosages as around 5 to 6 milligrams per kg body weight. So you can see a variety of athletes can benefit from caffeine when it's dosed and done appropriately. A few of the drawbacks can include caffeine habituation. You consume it on a consistent basis. Although performance effects seem to remain the same, you're going to need to consume more and more caffeine over time as more adenosine receptors start to form with habitual use, so you'll need more caffeine to feel that same feeling of alertness and energy. With this said though, no conclusive evidence really points to needing to withdraw from caffeine use to get the same performance benefits, which is a good thing. But if you do decide to withdraw from caffeine, you could get some nasty symptoms including headaches, increased sleepiness and fatigue, depression, irritability, decreased amounts of alertness and productivity, and even nausea. Caffeine can definitely disturb your sleep quite a bit if you drink it too close to bedtime or ingest it too close to bedtime, which can vary widely, as we stated earlier, with that variance in half-life, so you've got to be careful there. And then people that don't normally ingest caffeine, that start ingesting it, could experience some things like GI distress, some tachycardia, restlessness, and irritability, among other symptoms. As far as the NCAA's take on caffeine, it technically is a banned substance, but there is a caveat to that. It's only if it's found in concentrations of over 15 micrograms per milliliter, which would probably take a caffeine consumption of around 500 milligrams in one sitting, which is quite a bit. That's the equivalent to about 5 8-ounce cans of Red Bull. So yes, it is on the banned substance list, but you can consume caffeine as an NCAA athlete within reason, so you just got to be well educated on that. Some of the recommendations would be to consume probably between 2 and 4 milligrams per kilogram of body weight 60 minutes before exercise. Now, the reason we wouldn't recommend going up to 6 or even 9 milligrams per kg is because you could start to flirt with that line of being close to the NCAA line of the prohibited amounts. So it's just better to be safe than sorry there. Obviously, heavier individuals can probably consume a little bit more, or if you metabolize caffeine pretty quickly, maybe you get away with a little bit more, but you kind of have to know your body there. And try and best not to consume caffeine probably 6 hours before you plan on going to bed, or perhaps even longer if you're a slower caffeine metabolizer, just to ensure good sleep so you don't get in a cycle of bad sleep, more caffeine, and that could get into a bad cycle. And then being aware of the source of your caffeine as well, which leads me into pre-workout supplements and energy drinks. They're very common today. And they definitely contain efficacious doses of caffeine, but you need to express caution here for a few reasons. For one, many pre-workouts contain proprietary blends, meaning they won't tell you the exact amount of each ingredient, although they will tell you the caffeine amount. There could be other ingredients in there that could interact with each other, and it's just best to know the exact amounts of what you're putting in your body. The amount of each ingredient can vary batch to batch if the batches aren't tested by over 200%, which means you could be ingesting a whole lot more caffeine than you think you are, putting you at risk for being over the NCAA limit. And one of the last things is that long-term studies of consistent use of pre-workout and energy drinks just haven't really been done. So we don't know the long-term health effects. There may be none, but we just don't know. So So if you do decide to take a pre-workout supplement, choose one that you know has been third-party tested and Informed Sport certified, which means that they test every single batch of that product, so it's monitored, and make sure you're adhering to the suggested serving size as well. Hope this was informative, and thank you for watching.